Nuevo mundo, shouted the sailors. The sea was rippling like the bottom of a woven grass-rope chair. A new world. Taking out their finest satins and putting on new armor, the commanders of the little party ordered boats to be made ready and the royal standards of Aragon and Castile to be taken into men, meanwhile feeling the balmy air and seeing green and ashore for the first time in 2 months, were greedily talking of fresh fruit. After their monotonous and meager diet of meat, of milk, of a chance to walk free in the air, to escape their commanders, and of women. Yes, perhaps there would be women, beautiful savages of manifold charms. But most of all they were filled with the wild joy of release from torment of the mind. For not one among them but expected to be eaten by a god or a monster long since, or to have been boiled alive by a hypertropical sea. Excitedly they went down the ladders and took their places at the words of the boatswain, spoken in the Castilian tongue. Of Columbus's small talk on that occasion nothing remains, but it could not have been of Eric the Discoverer, nor of the parties of Asiatics and islanders, Pacific islanders who had in other ages peopled the continents from the east. No matter. Nuevo mundo, had shouted the sailors, and Nuevo Mundo it was, sure enough, as they found out as soon as they had set foot on it, and Columbus had kneeled and said prayers, and the priest had spoken his rigmarole in the name of Christ, and the land was finally declared taken over for Ferdinand and Isabella, the far-distant king and queen. Yes, it was indeed a new world. They, the product of an age-long civilization beginning in India, it is said, and growing through conquest and struggle of all imaginable sorts through periods of success and decline, through ages of walkings to and fro in the fields and woods and the streets of cities that were without walls and had walls and burst their walk and became ruins again, through the changes of speech, Sanskrit, Greek, Latin, growing crooked in the mouths of peasants who would rise and impose their speech on their masters, and on divisions in the state and savage colonial influences, words accurate to the country, Italian, French, and Spanish itself, not to speak of Portuguese. Words. Yes, this party of sailors, men of the sea, brothers of a most ancient guild, ambassadors of all the ages that had gone before them, had indeed found a new world. A world, that is, that knew nothing about them, on which the foot of a white man had never made a mark such as theirs were then making on the white sand under the palms. Nuevo mundo! The children, released from school, lay in the gutter and covered themselves with the fallen poplar leaves. A new world. All summer the leaves had been thick on the branches, but now, after the heat and the rain and the wind, the branches were beginning to be bare. More sky appeared to their eyes than ever before. With what relief the children had pranced in the wind! Now they lay half covered in the leaves and, enjoying the warmth, looked out on the new world. And he was passing and saw them, and wondered if it were too late to be Eric. What a new world they had made of it, with their Cortezes, their Pizarros, yes, and their Lord Howes, their Washingtons even, the Declaration of Independence. I wonder, he said, whether it could be possible that the influence of the climate, I wonder if the seed, the sperm of that, existed in Columbus. Was it authentic? Is there a word to be found there? Could it be that in those men who had crossed, in the Norse as the Mongols, something spontaneous could not have been implanted out of the air? Or was the declaration to be put to the credit of that German George? Was it only the result of local conditions,